the shame.
I'm weak in the shame.
It won't break here.
It won't break here.
I'm weak in this shame.
I'm weak in this shame.
It won't break here.
It won't break here.
We are weak in the shame.
We are weak in the shame.
It won't break here.
It won't break here.
Second one is to figure out, why I'm here, what I want from my presence here. Thirdly, something's bothering me, might be the reason I came, and I want to take that in my third breath and say, I'm going to fix it in this space. As Marty always says, everything we need is in this room. But if we're not intentional and focused about what we need, then the room, it doesn't matter that we're in.
I need to deal with might have brought me here, but I've been carrying it and I want to just get rid of it now. Find a solution for it. Find some help for it. Inhale, 2, 3, and exhale, 3, 2, 1. And I hear the noise naturally, brothers. Please share that practice and use it. Thanks so much.
We have some great mighty ancestors. We want to honor them, the ancient ones, the national ones, and the 10,000 ancestors that took to create you. Y'all remember them? Yeah. All right, we want to say Ashe 3 times to them. Ashe, 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 brother.
We say that the Black Man Lab is a what kind of a space?
Safe space.
And a what space?
Safe space.
And a what space?
Healing space.
Safe, sacred, and healing space for Black men. We know that some of the challenges and obstacles that we see as Black men are very different than other folks, right? Everybody agree with that? Is that just me? Or is everybody? Yes. All right. So what we do is we say, if there's anybody that's had a challenging day, week, month, year, life, and you just need some support from Black men that can say, hey brother, I see you, I love you, and I'm with you. If there's anybody in here that can use that, we say come to the front of the room, and then we all gonna come show you love, and not ask no questions about what's going on in your world. We're just gonna say we're here for you. If there's anybody in here that can use that, come to the front of the room, and everybody in the room is gonna get up, show that brother love, and then show each other love. So if that's you, come to the front, please.
Just think about what we're doing. We're trying to model a behavior for our young brothers. We want them to see that if they need support, that there are brothers that they can come to and we can show them love and support. Is that all right? Yeah. And can you imagine if on every block that was a reality? How this whole thing will shift, the energy around it will change. That's what we're trying to build at this launch. Everybody good?
Yeah. Evening, brothers. So I'm chairman of the Andrew Walter Young Family YMCA. Keyword family. This is a powerful room. We have two powerful founders, Dr. Walter Young and Ambassador Andrew Young, who really have given us everything in their own bodies to make sure that we're here. I say this all the time, the serving is beneath you, the leadership is beyond you. I volunteer all my time when I come into this Y. I'm president of Active Better Health of Georgia. FAMU graduate, but I love this community. And so even though I battle in that boardroom every single day, I make sure I make time, whether you see me or not, my fingerprint is here. And I thank Martin and Attorney Davis for all that they have done, because spiritually, mentally, and physically, no matter where you are in life, we need this space as black men. So I just want to say thank you and cherish this moment and leave this room to inspire someone else.
So brothers, we're talking about the power of spoken word, the power of poetry. We know that, we are a people of words, and the words move us, ignite us, help get us moving. And so we'd like for these brothers to give their introduction to themselves in way of whatever piece they want to offer up. Is that cool?
Let me set the tone. Let me get in my zone. Now let me start the show. Let me get in my flow. It's time to tap in. Time to harness my zen. I'm going all in for wellness within. It's a new era, so let the time begin. Now I'm in my zen as I flow with this pen. I'm in my own lane. Let me stage my name. So cold I became as a result of the pain. The pain from the game, one day I'll explain. But for now, meditation is my claim to fame. So vibe to these tracks to help you relax. Mind, body, soul, and spiritual flows. I'm a vessel that was chose with a voice that arose from the belly of the beast. I mindfully release these vibrations with peace to heal all whom this project shall reach. So set your space, relax your face. Allow grace to flow all through this place, and know that you are safe inside the loving embrace of this mindful meditation mixtape by Shay.
I like to say, run black boy. Run black boy straight to your dreams. Run you beautiful black boy straight into your self-esteem. Run beautiful black boy away from their fear. Oh, you ain't know? They only want to see you run in an arena if they put you there. I said run black boy. Run black boy, you black. Run black boy, they think you selling crack. Run black boy, it's the neighborhood watch. Run black boy as far as you can from that block. Run black boy track. Run black boy Zans. Run black boy crack. Run black boy as fast as you can. I see an innocent black boy. Why do they always see a dangerous black man? I like to say run black boy. Run black boy, you black. Run black boy, you never look back. For 400 years, guilt has been targeted on your back. So no matter the reason you run, there is a gun pointed at you. I want you to run black boy away from all of these facts. I said run black boy. But because I love you, I say stay still. Please make no sudden movements. Try to remain polite in spite of their rudeness. Don't give them any more provocation. I want you to run black boy until we again run this mother nation. Run black boy.
As a black man, would you hear me beyond my degrees? Or do the letters by my name convince you that I'm tame, and so now you're ready to listen? Come on. If I stand to disagree, would you conclude that I'm angry simply because my views are not mainstream? Or should I select a date to put the tie away and then stand posed, black cap and loose clothes? Why then does your safety diminish? As I look into your eyes, somehow you've contrived of this bell curve theory of my intelligence. Although it's plain to me that your insidious pathologies remain like a stain pressed onto a brain where invincible ignorance is bliss. To point out its stress as I digress to conclude this poetic soliloquy, as I stand among a million black men with more degrees than the mind can conceive, from Harvard to Howard and the AUC to the streets of the Black Man University.
I lost a lot of sleep and dreams. It's two insomniacs. Red Eye alumni, we do it from the cardiac. Self-made, we adapt to any habitat. I got this heat, but you're not playing with my thermostat. They think I'm fly because they can see the stuff I'm on. Dirty job, you can tell what I'm stepping on. I walk the walk, I talk the talk, the lessons learned. I'm angelic with the flow, yes, my wings are earned. I'm in a cadre of madres and padres. We speak calligraphy until it's imagery. I paint picture with the symphony. Ebb, flow, flutes, and timpani. Orchestrated in the ether, they call it ministry. Tell Caesar no toleration for tyrants. The bomb's ticking, we outnumber the hydrants. I'm fair in height, I elevate the climate. Young lion with science, that's what you call guidance. Who's gonna protect the women and the children? Liars! We in the building if you tired of the struggling and the killing. Zion! We need some healing out
I stand for the right things. Now, I don't have a lot to say, but when I speak, you need to listen because I'm sure it will make a difference. Now, the word how much money I have in my pockets, you see, is my contribution to this world. That's what puts me in the category as a millionaire. And I'm not trying to be arrogant, brothers. No, I'm not trying to be arrogant, but you see, even when I'm in an empty room with my pride, the room is still full to capacity. You see, I'm a voice in this country. And yes, I deserve to be heard. I'm a black man. A black man. And do you know that helped build this country? And for a while, the only place that allowed me to sit was in the rear of a room on the back of a bus. I'm a black man. A black man, and every time you stop at a traffic light, you know what? You should think about me. Well, yes, my skin is dark. It is as dark as the berries that run wild in the fields now that my great-grandparents once picked cotton. My hands are rough. My hands are rough. But didn't I tell you earlier that I built this country? I'm a black man. A black man, and I'm angry. I'm so angry that I'm going out to do something good. No, I'm not afraid. I fear absolutely no one. The greatest, so get out of my way. Get out of my way if you're not going forward. Just saying, I got time to be tired. My daughter needs a father. My son needs a role model. And my wife needs a man. Didn't I tell you to get out of my way if you're not going forward? There's so many brothers that need my help because maybe they're hooked on drugs. And there's homeless people that need to be shown just a little love. You better get out of my way if you're not going forward. So that I can make the difference. You see, I'm a man. I'm the man. And thank God for a black man.
We'd like for them to tell you their name, what they do, how long they've been writing, and pass it real quick. I also got a new young brother up here. All right. He does battle rap.
Hey, brothers, once again, my name is Dr. Gary O. White. I'm an associate professor at Clark Atlanta University School of Social Work. I began writing, believe it or not, around 92, 93, but it really blew up around 1995, hanging with his brother Hank Stewart at the Caban, when we were writing, producing new pieces every year. So I continue to write, and as a professor, I'm encouraged the ongoing writing. So I love it. It's a part of my ministry. Thank you.
Hank Stewart. I've been writing for 33 years now. And I started writing November 7, 1991. Miles Monroe once said, the greatest tragedy in life is not death. The greatest tragedy in life is to give a life and not know why you live. November 7, 1991, I discovered my purpose. So I have 2 days that I celebrate my birthday, September 4th, my purpose day, November 7th. I'm actually a poet laureate. Congressman Hank Johnson, a poet laureate in this congressional district. I'm best-selling author. Commercials for Fox 5 and McDonald's, Essence Festival. I've been on the main stage at Essence, 90,000 folks, close it up for them. So I've been really, really blessed. I stepped out of UPS. I was a manager at UPS. And when I found my purpose, I knew I had to shift. I didn't want to wake up and say, I wish I should have, could have, would have. And I followed my purpose. And so have not looked back. Don't need an alarm clock to get up in the morning because purpose wakes me up.
My name is Miss Graham. I've been writing and performing about 27 years now. I'm a Peabody Award-winning HBO Deaf poet. I was the first poet on 106 in Park. I'm the only poet published on a CD with Prince. And I'm still grinding out here like I just came out. And the thing that got me into it was I lost my mother, and now I happen to be I'm a veteran, and I'm a disabled vet, but depression is what they call it. But it's one of those things where we work through our depression because we conquerors. So what got me into it, I didn't have therapy. Now I have therapy, so of course it's only gonna get better.
Peace and love, family. I go by Soul Code, and I am anything and everything I need to be at any given moment because I live in the present moment. And I got into the spoken word just recently. 2020 was a tough year for me. I'm not sure about you guys. And that was a part of my transition. I recently played in the NFL from 2014 to 2018, retired with an injury, and I had an identity crisis. And depression and anxiety was knocking at my door, and I had to figure out now how to repurpose my talents, right? Football was just a platform, it wasn't my purpose. And God had to speak through me by sitting me down, right? I was on crutches and I couldn't turn my neck. That was the most vulnerable I'd ever been. And I didn't know how to express my emotions, and I didn't know where to turn to. I didn't want to pick up the bottle. I didn't want to take these over-the-counter pills. I was looking for a more holistic way to recover mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. I didn't know that all those were intertwined with the divine. And when I started looking for resources, I didn't see on mainstream men of color leading and guiding meditations and yoga and breath work and things like that. And I was wondering why, where were we in representation and relatability? And I picked up the mic the first time I heard my voice, and I realized that I'm supposed to be that agent of change, that champion of change, and use my platform and to create this avenue and to bridge that gap for this next generation and my peers, right? And so that's why I'm choosing to do what I do today. So what you heard was the intro to the Soul Flow on the Meditation Mixtape Volume 1, because every mixtape needs a fire intro. So here we go.
What's going on, y'all? Mario Reyes. I started writing in 10th grade after I heard T.O.N.Y. by Capone Noriega. I heard that and I was like, if they can do it, I can do it. Except I couldn't stay on beat for nothing. So I decided to not be a rapper and become a poet, right? I was stationed, I'm also a veteran, I was stationed in Langley Air Force Base. And I started dating a girl at Hampton. And she started putting me on to the Harlem Renaissance, understanding Sojourn Truth. She started like really exposing me to just culture in a way that I didn't look at from the Bronx. Everything was just hip hop. Now understanding the roots of it, I started going full out neo soul. You know what I mean? Like everything from Bilal to Common, Dead Prez, whatever. So that was my period of enlightenment. And life, as it does, it took me away from the stage after I got a little bit of steam, and then I moved to Atlanta. When I moved to Atlanta 9 years ago, I knew nobody, and except I had a friend in poetry. So I started going to Apache Cafe, and that's where I met my mentor right here, and we've been getting busy ever since, you know, not just in performing, but also to what the brother right here said, realizing that it's a way to not just fill up your cup inside. So when you're the poet, when you're the bard, you're on stage, you're the lightning rod for all of these thoughts that we all share. So from our perspective, y'all all look at us, but we can see every one of y'all. And now, everybody comes to us to discuss the poem after, for instance, if somebody passed away. Not knowing that because I see differently from the stage, I know you really need to talk to him. And you really need to talk to him. So that's what we've been doing now. We're doing community building with the Black Man Lab, with Umdugu, and with my nonprofit, Manifest Destiny. We teach children about the roots of spoken word through a workshop called Poetry to the People. And at the end, they write identity narratives to help affirm who they really are before the world tries to paint that picture for them.
My name is Davion. They call me DJ. DJ on the better if y'all want to go look it up. But I started, battle rap was more so like an avenue that I used to be able to do spoken word. Spoken word is the first thing I got into. And I got into it first because I was simply just good with words. And you can't really display that at school. You can't I can't write a poem and get to my teacher and get an A on it. You can't do that. So it's like how you use words and still be an energetic person in a battle rap. So, but before it was battle rap, I write songs, I used to write poems, and like I just like how I use words. And words is like I could say something to you, and I could say it to you, and you catch it another way, and he heard it something totally different, but I said the exact same words. So it's like something like some perspective. Then I like, I like dealing with perspective, like psychology, like how your brain works. So we dealing with like, you feel me, words and stuff like that. It just hit in a deep meaning, like a deep, you feel me? At least for me, because it's like I can say, even the grammar now, one word means three things. You feel me? It's spell one letter in the word can change the time mean nothing. You feel me? So it's just like stuff like that. I like words, so I pretty good with us. I'm gonna use words the best I can do.
This is a safe, sacred, and healing space for black men. And so some folks in here might have a PhD, no degree, just got out of prison, just made $1 million. It don't matter here. We all black men just sharing love, right? And so we're learning and vibing off of each other, getting strength from each other. And so what these brothers just shared and what they just did gave us energy. And so if there's anyone in the mix that want to ask them any questions, or if you want to do a 45-second joint, we're going to pass the mic. 45 seconds.
Here at Morehouse, senior business administration major at Morehouse College. And through my tenure at Morehouse, honestly, I want to say even through high school, I feel like in a sense, I feel like I've always had really good thoughts and was able to communicate them decently to people. But like I feel like when I got to college, like finding my voice and being very articulate was very important. So how do you all feel like you got to that place, and how did you practice just finding your voice and being confident in that, being able to just speak on whatever you feel like?
I was able to sit at the feet of Dr. Joseph Eccles Lowry, Cameron Madison Alexander, Dr. C.T. Vivian, John Lewis, James Owen, Rita Salmon, you know, I mean, just Tommy George. Wow. I had some, and these were my mentors, man, right? And you know what I did more than anything? I just listened. That was not my time to show what I knew. It was my time to learn what they could give me. And so, since a lot of them have transitioned, now I'm trying to keep their voice alive, right? And so again, for me, the civil and human rights, and his father, he knows it better than I do. But the civil and human rights was our base, bro. And the way they did it, and you know, there's all kind of quotes running through my head. There's a quote by Stokely Carmichael that said, it is responsibility of the conscious to make the unconscious conscious of their unconscious behavior. Come on. I'm gonna say it again. It's the responsibility of the conscious to make the unconscious conscious of their unconscious behavior. Y'all look at me like I got two heads. It's the responsibility of those who get it to help those who don't get it, because those who don't get it don't realize they don't get it. Yeah. And so when you're around that conscious, and I know you do it for a while, when you're around brothers who are sharper than you on both sides, and you're willing to learn and to listen to, evolve into, I got so many. I'm 60 years old, and I got so many mentors in here. So you got to learn how to, no matter how old you are, these young brothers can teach you something. Even a broken clock is right twice a day.
It's really important to find mentors. Like, I think it was probably in the first year of meeting Abyss, I asked him to be mine, and he said something that was very pivotal to me. He said, be a mentor and find a mentor. So I always look back and reach my hand to those that were coming up, and I always look to some people that got a little bit more great than me to ask questions to. Now, I also realized the power of my words. It was about it's maybe like 2009, 2010. I was really wrestling with depression after a divorce. And I had a wonderful weekend with my kids, and I found a poem that I wrote in the midst of mediation. Now, if you don't know what mediation is, essentially you're sitting across the table with somebody you used to share a bed with, and you're negotiating the most important parts of your lives. And after reading that, it immediately made me depressed. That's when I realized how impactful my words were. So I made a vow to myself after that. So if I write a poem, I don't mind sharing the experience, but I have to end it with the arc of optimism, and that usually comes in the form of a lesson. So there has to be a jewel. By the time I got to Atlanta, I had so many poems that were rich with jewels that I believe people could benefit from hearing. Then I found value in really sharing them, as opposed to just running through stages with my own vanity.
I write short stories, and there was a time that I couldn't get any new ideas. I mean, it was a long time. I recently started writing again after probably about 10 years or so. And so I'm asking, has that ever happened to you? And then how do you reignite your interest in going forward with creating, because we're creatives and we have to get it out?
I'm doing in a routine, like when we are on these phones, sometimes the algorithm becomes projected in your physical. You'll do the same thing over and over because we're creatures of habit. So what you have to do is purposely get yourself out of your routine. So sometimes you have to take that deep breath like how we did earlier. Take those deep breaths. If you do those deep breaths in different rhythms, you'll receive different things out of your brain. So depending on how much air you take in, that's you got oxygenated blood going to the brain now. Now you're not going to get the foggy, you're going to get some clarity there. So a lot of that helps. So doing something outside of the norm. You know, listen to, I listen to lo-fi music, and it just sits in the background, but it's at a frequency where I can just get stuff done.
On your medium, your multiple mediums. For example, you know, one of the interesting things about being a college professor, we have to focus on the science of writing. So it's very scientific. So therefore, it hinders us, and it's really will stop us. But what's powerful is that when I go walking, and I have my audio tape, my audio recording, and so some of my writing, the greatest writing that I've done, I realized I've walked 15 miles creating different pieces. And so you never know where your inspiration comes from. You're just aware of the one form of inspiration. So sometimes you have to find those other mediums. For me, when I saw the death of George Floyd, it triggered something from my childhood where my father almost died by the police the same exact way at 11 years old. And just like that, I just started writing volumes of writings. So the triggers, the traumas, the triggers can be forms of inspiration. So just focus on the various mediums that you may have available to you.
Yeah, my father passed 29 years ago. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. I was on my way to bury my father. And I was riding down 75. I hit I-10 just to go into Jacksonville. I was doing about 75, 85, 90 miles per hour. I ran into a stepping stone. And I dropped my speed down to about 60 miles per hour because I couldn't see. Dropped my speed down to about 55, 50 miles per hour because I couldn't see. 45, 40 miles per hour because I could not see. Cars had people pulling onto the side of the road. I was determined not to start with it. Dropped my speed down to 25, 20 miles per hour because I could not see. 15 miles, baby. Could not see. All of a sudden, I came out of that thunderstorm. The sun was as bright as I'd ever seen it before. The birds were flying as high as I've ever seen them fly. The sky was as blue as I'd ever seen it. And it seems as if at the very moment God said, just think of all those people who stopped back in the middle of a storm. I wrote a poem called Why Would You Stop in the Middle of a Storm? You understand? So it just allow life to motivate you. Like there's enough going on in life that will keep you energized.
The energy, right? We are energetic beings. And what you spoke of, I resonate with as a creative block, right? And if that energy is blocked in your channel, your vessel, you need to look within and see where that energy is blocked. Now, typically, energy in our creative space is in our sacral root, right? So if your 7 chakras aren't aligned, but if you're specifically the one that's, they say is orange, right above your root, right below your solar plexus, that is where your center of creativity is. So being able to meditate on that or do some research on that and how you can unblock that center might be a solution to open that creative center.
Cool, check it out. And to that point right there, I make the jewelry that you see these good brothers with. We can definitely get that sacred chakra unblocked. Speaking of, I stand on the block slanging amethyst rocks. You couldn't mind these gems I dropped, inherited from God's power stock. If you ever see me on this album, just know I'm not pushing slabs. I'm literally giving my people what we need because some of us lack what we should have had. Word stays on this tongue like tabs, but I possess the gift, the gab, the square root of the truth times divinity equals the real trinity. Brothers do the math. On the corner, but some of us dance to the radio hymns of Tom Joyner. Some women well-dressed, giving out bonus to the hustlers, serving street loners, but we all love it like drifting those cars on turnpike. Living life on the edge without any concern like gamblers every time we roll these dice of life. They are lessons that we all gotta learn twice. But with every lesson, there comes a blessing. No matter how much you're literally stressing, new levels, new devils, kings always make progression. Trials and tribulations, they ain't nothing short of the Most High's testing. So when the devils come against you, use him as your weapon. God, I say that way.
Paramount that we know where the root is. And speaking of which, We have, as a poet, the Watts Prophets, as well as the Last Poets. They are actually active in a lot of our lives right now, still mentoring. Like I said, Hank said he was at the footsteps. This is Dr. Jalal Nareed, all of them. But when I say they're on their game, they're 80 years plus our seniors doing their thing. But when I say the synapses, like they talk and rhyme, just because they have lived what they're doing, and you just marvel for what they have just at disposal. We'll have to go in the book to find what's just up here, just relative, but make sure, like I say, find a friend with some gray hair, or even if you're dying in black.
All of these branches understand where the roots started, right? So we don't just talk about at the workshops for the kids, and also do it for ERGs at Fortune 500 companies. Like, we do chakra work, and through that, I want to first let them know that Sojourn Truth was the first poet of our time, per se, right? And why was that important for the black community? Because that's how we were able to preserve our culture from the motherland for so long. There was always a bard in every tribe, and they was able to hold what was taken from us and pass it down through generations. Now, you know, I believe the new tool for this generation has to be discipline, because they are flooded with nothing but distractions. Now, we're able to take it. The tool for this current generation has to be discipline, because we are flooded with nothing but distractions. Now, when we're able to take a step back and understand what that root looks like, another set of tools that we're going to have is called gratitude. Why is gratitude important? Because when you understand the root, when you understand the trials and tribulations that it took for us to get here, and to even be blessed enough to be distracted, you realize you're standing on the shoulders of giants. You know what I mean? And even if your giant is a little shorter than you. You know what I'm saying?
I just want to speak on like for what you said, like for like the poetry and hip hop aspect, because I'm only 19, and I see the difference of like folks who have no idea what rap, rhythm, and poetry is, and folks who just who do. So it is very important, because like you'll get people who just like, because you gotta remember, a song is like it's an energy thing. It hurts to a song. You feel me? It's a certain amount of decibels to your ears. It's a certain amount of, you feel me? It's not just words, song, flow. You feel me? It's different things. So if you're able to like know where this line or this structuring or format came from, you'll understand how to do it different. And you feel me? It is very important, because you don't want to sound the same. Everybody sounds the same.
The most dangerous group in the world has always been the writers. You think of any war, any movement, it was the writers, the poets, the prose, who told the story. And so we have this as an obligation. When you begin to listen to it, then it transitioned into the poems, and then it transitioned into the music, then it transitioned to the hip hop. But still, all the way to ancient Kemetic times, on the wall it said, "Know thyself." Shortest poem on the planet, "Know thyself."
And real quick, Paul Robeson said, "Artists are the gatekeepers of truth. We are civilization's radical voice." Right. Artists are the gatekeepers of truth. We are civilization's radical voice. There's another quote that says, "Artists are here to disturb the peace." That's by James Baldwin. Yes, so you got to understand, and so for me, it's all of this stuff, man. All of, you know, and my dear friend, I've been knowing this brother for 25, 30 years, and one of the things he said, I think went over all of our head. Sometimes as writers, we want to be so structured, right? And so when you allow God to step in there, it's a whole different beast. I never took any writing classes, you know, any type of poetry class or anything. Everything, and I was afraid to, because what he just said, because I didn't want to change what God had given me. Right? I didn't want, you know, I wanted to make sure that I stayed authentic to his purpose for me. His purpose is different, his purpose is different, and we all have different journeys, because when you listen to the radio, you don't hear the same song over and over and over again. You hear different music, right? And so I can ride and rock with Abyss because I like his style, and I can rock on his style, on an intellectual. You gotta be comfortable You gotta be comfortable with your own style.
Yeah.
And you might take a little bit of this, you know, it's like a recipe. My grandmama had this, she add a little bit of this, and you put a little bit of your own stuff in there. But what you really gotta be true is what God gave you.
I wanted to come and be a part of this conversation. We would like to ask brothers a couple of questions, and we just want to get, you know, people in the audience to just answer as authentically as you could in this, what, safe, sacred, and healing space, so that the world will continue to hear black men's voice. And quite frankly, you know, I don't know that they've heard enough from us.
That's why we're here. So, I mean, first of all, the power in this room is unbelievable. To be an outsider and feel welcomed. Appreciate everyone. The word was unbelievable from everyone. So this is what I'm going to do. Ask a few questions right now, but I would like to talk to people afterwards. So if you feel like you can stay for me and I can ask you a few questions, I'm talking about the election. That's what I want to know if people intend to vote. I want to know what you feel about the campaign. I want to know what you feel like is missing, right? But I'm going to ask a few general questions right now, and I want people to raise their hand based upon what I'm asking, if you don't mind. So my first question is really simple. Is how many people in here intend to vote during this election? You guys can lower your hands if you don't mind. How important do you think this election is, even compared to 2020? What stands out to you? Is this the election you feel you have to vote in? If you don't mind, raise your hands. Yes. All right. Different question. Do you feel like the Vice President has tailored her message to black men enough in this election? Raise your hands. Go ahead. What do you feel is important about this election in particular that you want to hear from the administration?
I don't want the administration to lie and just come up with something to appease the people. If it hasn't been in the voice already, if it ain't already been on the docket, don't make up something just because now you're under the spotlight because you don't have a vote. If it means something to you, it means something to you. Not because it ain't a flip, you know, a switch that you flip. But ultimately, the biggest thing is we got to come for ourselves. No politician comes for us. It's us. We got to do it. That's right. But we got to be in the room at the table as well. And we intend to do that.
Say your name.
Jay White.
You tell her how to galvanize the vote, especially in a room like this. What would you want her to hear?
Well, there's a couple things. I think we have to understand what the body of politics is too. So you can't just have a presidential person to make all the rules. You got to understand the full spectrum of voting. Secretary and Congress, Senate, and all that. And so no president, even President Obama, was most effective when he had control of the House and the Senate. And so if you lose control of certain parts of government, you can't get government across. You can't get legislation across. And so we have to be careful about that, because it's not just, you can have a president who has all the rights of the people, but have no Congress or Senate, and it's going to be hard to get anything done.
That the narrative, we see it as soon as she took her position, you began to see the narrative. Our challenge, and it's been historically been the challenge of black women, the negative, the connotations of being angry, we have to manage and be mindful of the narrative that is being created. Our daughters have to go through it at the micro level, and we see it all the way at this presidential level. So we must be mindful, and we must be proactive in managing and controlling and keeping the positive, strong narrative of black women in particular.
What they're trying to do, as this brother said before, is complete distractions on a woman who is highly accomplished. More accomplished than any of the two candidates on their side of the house. And for Mr. Trump to call her a bum is disgusting in itself, because she's a black woman who's achieved a very high level in politics, in law, and in society. And so we have to stand up for her as a black woman and protect her as black people.
Yeah, great words today. The words link us to our past. The words link us to our future. We are linked together. If everybody can repeat after me. I'm a Lincoln to shame. I'm a Lincoln to shame.